So when you say normal firewood company, it's the crappy little cardboard sign with red letters says firewood and it's spelled wrong with a number.
FIRWOOD.
That's right.
The number 4 SAL.
Right. Firewood for sale.
I know that company. That's great. So that was your company. Genius. All right.
So
you feel sorry for them, so you want to buy their wood.
It's actually, you know what? You got to play to your market, bro, because you're like, I'm going to get these poor country boys on the way. Welcome to the Small Business Safari, where I help guide you to avoid those traps, pitfalls, and dangers that lurk when navigating the wild world of small business ownership. I'll share those gold nuggets of information and invite guests to help accelerate your ascent to that mountaintop of success. It's a jungle out there, and I want to help you traverse through the levels of owning your own business that can get you bogged down and distract you from hitting your own personal and professional goals. So strap in, adventure team, and let's take a ride through the safari and get you to the mountaintop. Let's get ready to rock and roll, everybody. It's time to chop some wood, Alan. Because you know that's what we do when we got to go to work. You got to chop wood. I don't know if you ever heard that, but my coach used to say that in football. He's like, Lalvani, you got to start chopping wood, son. We got to go.
Chris is on fire today.
I'm on fire today because we are teasing this one up. This is going to be a lot of fun. Not your typical startup. This is not some IT thing. I dreamt it up. But before we get there,
this one's way more fun, I think.
I think this is going to be a lot more fun, too, because it's actually real. It's tangible. And, man, you're on fire.
And it's smoking.
It's smoking. Oh, my God. We could keep doing this all day long.
You're in,
all right.
You're in fuego.
I am in fuego. All right. Well, I guess we should get started. Although,
what?
I do got to give some props to my kid, right?
Just I think so. Yep.
So, as we go through the journey of life and starting a biz, I've been doing it for 16 years. The kid's 22 now. He just graduates from UGA. All he ever really knew was either I was gone, and then when I was back, I ran a business. And so he was telling me that the other day. He says, I really don't remember much before you started the business.
Well, that feels good, doesn't it, Dad?
That I've been at it for that long. Yeah. And of course he said, but I don't want to do anything with your business. So, so the good news is,
so was there a little silver lining on this conversation, or was it just more, airing of grievances during his graduation?
It really was. He did say thank you, but what do you mean, but? I mean, that's like, it's like, no offense, but wait, you can't say that because you're still going to rip somebody up. But
was this after you gave him his graduation gift or before?
So his graduation gift was this huge party we threw for him this weekend. And plus the fact that we put him through 4 years of school. And if he does everything right, we will pay for his law school. So he is going to law school. So there is a bittersweet ending of this because, as you know,
you need a lawyer. Yeah.
And now I don't have to pay as much for him. So I got to get him through. So good news is, too, for me, he's going to trial law.
Really?
That's what he's thinking.
Nice.
We'll see. I don't know. And then I got my daughter who's going to be a PA who was home this weekend and also ripped on my lifestyle and told me that I got to dial it back a little bit. And I said, to that.
I mean, they have the perfect professions to take care of you.
I know, right? I'm setting myself up for retirement.
Gout and weight issues and everything else.
I mean, I'm fat, obese. I'm obese, as we all know, because that's.
No, you're solidly overweight.
No,
you're striving for that.
I'm striving for that. I got to drop 5 more.
Oh, okay. That's not bad.
Yeah, so I'm getting down there. Right. But the lady, you're in the obese category. You what? I'm like, lady, I just wait for but they changed the rules. I found that out too.
Really?
No, not really. No, anyway, we're back to it. All right. Can we get to our guest?
A couple of days in a holding cell probably drop that 5 pounds before your son gets you out.
That's probably true. Actually, it would drive me out. It would leave me out. Probably be a good thing to do. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got to talk about something. This is going to be so cool. So we got Leroy Hite here who left corporate America on his own terms, as I researched and found out. So we're going to find out why, but started this really cool thing called Cutting Edge Firewood. You're like, oh, okay, it's a firewood company. No, it's not, man. It is premium firewood. You're like, right now you're sitting there going, no, there ain't a market for that. Yeah, no. So I can't wait to get into all this because if you say it just like that, and we talked to Leroy before he got here. He's from the mountains. He knows that. Wood's wood, man. Or is it?
No, it is not. Bite your tongue.
I know. Right. Oh, my God.
You're going to get an education today.
Right. Leroy, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
All right. Let's jump into this. So I got to start back to the beginning.
Sure.
And that's right. We got to cheers because I didn't drink enough over the weekend. Let's keep going.
Hair of the dog,
It's only
baby.
Tuesday.
Dead air's always so good on a podcast.
Oh, you love it. All right. Lock and load, everybody. Start driving, start listening. Here we go. So, Leroy, before you came up with this idea, you went to college. You said, man, I'm going to do the corporate thing. Did you think you're going to be an entrepreneur ever?
So not till college. So I went to Barry and they had an entrepreneurial program while I was there and started a few different businesses, including a different firewood company, which is where I first caught the vision.
Nice. All right. So you tried it out a little bit in college and you were doing a side hustle, going to school, doing your thing.
Yep.
Barry College, which is the distinction of having?
I don't know, but I know it's like a cruise ship for everybody that went there.
I don't know about what's that mean.
I went there and I don't know what that means.
No, I guess not.
There we go. Esoteric references. It is the largest college in the nation by landmass.
World.
Whoa.
Wow.
Largest campus worldwide.
So did you harvest the firewood on
It's a
campus?
small 27,000 acres.
Jeez.
So that was nice.
Yeah. So Barry College was founded conjunction with Ford family and another person. No.
So it was founded by Martha Barry and
That's why I did that.
and she caught the attention of a lot of important people in the country at the time. So Teddy Roosevelt at one point visited and was a fan. And Henry Ford was a fan. So the Henry Ford or Ford Foundation actually still donates money to the school. And he built like basically a castle on campus. So
yeah, that's why I brought that up, because I'm from Detroit originally, and that's why I said Ford and who else? Oh, you mean Barry, who they named the college after? Yeah, that's that. Right. All right, so you're at school. You're
narcissistic. Don't you think? Yeah.
You like that?
You need a La Mia University, don't you think?
You know, funny you should say that.
Really?
No. All right. I'm short about let's see, what's going to take 50 million. I'm about 49.99999 million away. All right. Let's keep going, shall we?
Let's dream big.
All right. So you went off. So you decided to go to work. You go into corporate world, start working ish.
yeah, kind of. So actually did that firewood company a year in school and then a year after school. Two buddies of mine when I was a junior, right after I got married, spring break junior year, quite normal.
Did you get married in Panama City or
no? It was planned and everything.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
high school sweetheart, working at Chick-fil-A, fastest drive-through crew still ever. Hold the record.
How about that? You and your wife?
No,
No.
I don't know that we actually do, but
It wouldn't surprise me if Chick-fil-A actually had awards like that.
we were fast, and so we are very critical anytime we go through the drive-through. So two buddies of mine started it and wanted me to run operations, gave me like a small percentage of ownership, and we did it. Fun random fact. In 2007, when I first started, we split firewood over the summer, which was the worst summer ever. That's when the lake almost completely dried up and holds the all-time record, where in Atlanta there were 10 days where it was above 100 degrees in a row. I can't even remember the last time it got above 100.
And there was a burn ban, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And he's out there just chopping wood.
I was chopping and not even thinking about that. But did that, sold it, the firewood, just normal firewood company. And that winter.
So when you say normal firewood company, it's the crappy little cardboard sign with red letters says Firewood, and it's spelled wrong with a number.
Firewood.
That's right.
The number 4 SAL.
Do you have what it takes to start your own business? Are you tired of the 9-to-5 corporate job and ready to make that leap into entrepreneurship? You need to check out From the Zoo to the Wild. the book by successful entrepreneur Chris Lalomia. This book is a unique perspective on the journey into the wild world of home services and delivering excellence in service while working in customers' homes. Lalomia shares his path to success in this industry, including proven customer relationship strategies, award-winning customer experience processes, and a unique approach to training a team of service technicians to perform at the highest levels. Whether you're a small business trying to scale or a franchise operation, From the Zoo to the Wild will give you the mindset, habits, leadership style, and customer-oriented processes to succeed as a small business owner in the world of home services. So if you're ready to take control of your future, get a copy of From the Zoo to the Wild today, available on Amazon.
Right. Firewood for sale.
I know that company. That's great. So that was your company. Genius. All right.
So you feel sorry for them, so you want to buy their wood.
It's actually, you know what? You got to play to your market, bro. Because you're like, I'm going to get these poor country boys a little break and give them some money.
I don't know if we want to get into that, but I have all those stories that I heard, especially in the early years when I did all the deliveries. But the, the one-legged, the one-legged guy that delivered firewood, the guy that forgot to put his truck in park, and it rolled and totaled the Mercedes. So that firewood was actually that's the most expensive firewood in the world, not mine. But so we did that, and we actually bid for Kroger, the Kroger account for the entire Southeast for their bundled firewood, and the firewood industry
pieces for $7.
Yes, the firewood industry at the time was so advanced that to get the Kroger account for the entire Southeast, I don't remember, I think it's like 1,000 stores. But they gave you a username, password, gave you a URL, and you would log in. It was a reverse bid, and whoever put in the lowest number won the account. So 3 college students won the account for the entire Southeast.
Oh my God.
With no equipment and no idea what we were doing.
How'd that go?
Surprisingly, no one died.
So we got that going for us. So good news. Got to look at the bright side. Is that we won the account for Kroger for the lowest bid, which nobody has ever gone on to be a millionaire because they were the lowest bidder for everything ever. So, but good news, nobody died.
Nobody died. Yeah, I mean, both the other guys were finance majors, so they knew if you put numbers into a spreadsheet that meant it was true. So that went great. We bought hundreds of thousands of dollars of equipment, and things broke every single day. So I taught myself how to fix them, then taught myself how to use them, the equipment, and then we hired a bunch of people on Craigslist, set up an assembly line, and we had like 35 people out there a day using heavy equipment. At one point, some equipment was stolen, and the police asked for information on our employees. And the next day I look up and 25, 30 cops are walking onto the place, and apparently 15 of our employees had outstanding warranties. I asked for I didn't really, but I've thought since I should have asked for like an award, because I basically did the cops' jobs.
Yeah, you set a record. You collected all the criminals in your county.
Doesn't he get like a FOP award? He gets like the Journal of the Police award for finding the most criminals in one spot, because they're all working with you every day. Which, let's go back to that.
Yep.
Good news is nobody died.
Only 15 people got arrested.
All right. So you guys are off on this venture, filling this thing out. How long did this last?
So year in school, and then a year after school, realized we could not keep up with Kroger. So we tell them, hey, we can't keep up. And then I sat down at a table, and I was like, okay, we have a bunch of firewood. We, as a group, came up with an idea of making a homemade kiln, and then I came up with a new idea of how to deliver firewood, just sitting at a table, staring at a piece of paper for about 2 hours. And interestingly, when I started cutting edge firewood, that's where I started at, but and then continued to improve. But really what that told me was firewood was incredibly backwards, completely undeveloped. You stare at a piece of paper for 2 hours and you can completely revolutionize the industry. So what I came up with is buy a truck and trailer, what's called a mini skid steer. It's basically looks like a ride behind lawnmower with tracks, and you can put forks on the front of it. So what that allowed you to do was carry 8 loads of firewood, and it would only take about 18 hours to do the deliveries. So, easy day. Compared to
That's 18 hours. That's called easy day. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Right? Yeah. They probably didn't say that to you,
delivering
Barry,
firewood. No, they did not.
They did not. I don't think the academics ever go, hey, so you want to be an entrepreneur, right? How many days so it's an 8-hour day? Yeah, no, 18. Yeah, 18-hour days, my friend.
Because the episode that just dropped this week was the guy who owns a construction company, among other businesses, and he only gives it an hour a week. Remember that one?
So, well, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
Wait,
the other
what?
side. Here, do what? I know. We talked to him. Chaz Wolf has 3 businesses.
Apparently, you have a time management problem.
Well, yeah. Well, he's the one delivering the firewood, dude. You don't deliver firewood in an hour, bro.
I got to get it.
especially not 8 loads.
I got to get into the weeds on this just a little bit.
Yep.
You got to find the wood,
Yeah.
and it has to be dry.
Yeah.
And you're supplying 1,000 Kroger stores, and then whatever you're doing now.
So
Well,
we'll get to that when we were getting Kroger wood, that it's better if it has fungus on it and some rot, and it won't burn. That's a plus, actually.
You almost sound like you're joking, but maybe not.
No, I think I think he knows a little bit more about wood than you do, bud. We're gonna start talking wood.
Yeah. Are you gonna start making wood jokes?
I can't. No, not yet. I want to hear more about this. We gotta keep going.
I know that's why I'm asking these questions.
We got to go back to the fact that he's delivering.
No. We got to go back to where's he getting the wood?
All right, where do you get the wood?
So, well, at the time we were getting it from anybody. Well, actually, we were getting it from loggers. We had a firewood processor, and this is 2008. The firewood processor was $150,000 piece of equipment. Had a circular saw that was a 6-foot diameter. It would take 50-foot trees and through a bunch of mechanics spit out firewood, things that would just constantly break. And then we had a huge...
You own that equipment?
The company did,
Yeah, well, that's what
yeah. We had that. We rented what's called a knuckle boom loader that would grab the trees off the back of the 18-wheelers and put it on the ground. And then we had what was called a Dell 7800 turbo, which they don't make anymore, and is the all-time largest skid steer, which is basically a bobcat. That was a fun thing to drive. You felt like you were in a mech. But you would pick it up and then put it on the firewood processor, and then it had a conveyor. It would just spit it. It would go up the conveyor, fall on the ground, and then when it was time to set up the assembly line, you would dump it onto the conveyor that was on the assembly line, and people would stand by and put it in bags, and then somebody would take it and stack it on a pallet. Then it would get wrapped, and then it would get put in the back of a truck. So, in theory.
So Kroger's wood was just green as could be.
Oh, I mean, it's terrible now. Then it was a monstrosity. There really were no standards. It was just price. And you can imagine, like,
that's what you're going with the lowest bidder, bro.
You could imagine, I'm a firewood company owner and I have $500,000 invested in it, and I supply Kroger year after year, and then some dumb idiot college kids come and outbid me and then just pull the rug out from under me. So of course the firewood industry didn't go anywhere. But so we told them we couldn't do it, came out with a new way, the 18 hours. I came up with that. We did it for like a month with that model. And why that was innovative was before that, you would throw the wood in the back of your 1982 F-150 that was semi-rusted out, throw the wheelbarrow on top. You would go do one delivery. It take 30 minutes to get there, 45 minutes to get there. And then you would wheelbarrow it back and forth. That would take you 3 hours. And then you would drive back. And basically you're looking at like 5 hours per delivery. And
for your $120.
Right. And it's basically at the point of, I think I'm making money. And then you realize you're getting wear and tear on your chainsaw and on your truck. And then you realize you're actually losing money. And so that was the innovation and what made me realize, okay, this is an opportunity because nobody has ever looked at this industry. But wife got laid off. And so we shut that down. And
laid off from where? Not Chick-fil-A.
Not Chick-fil-A.
Oh, thank God.
God forbid. They've never laid anybody.
No, I don't think they.
All right, so Mama was keeping you alive.
Yeah,
during you guys didn't have kids at that time.
Absolutely, yeah, no kids. So we shut that down, and went and worked actually at Chick-fil-A for a year. Thought about becoming an operator owner at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
that was not for me for sure. And then and during that time, like, I had fancy firewood in the back of my head, and I was like, dear God, please get this out of my head. Let me focus on a normal career. Fancy firewood is a weird obsession. But it would not. F-350 with the flatbed would come to the drive-thru, and I'd be like, oh man, I wish I could have that and deliver some firewood.
That would
that
deliver a lot of wood.
Right? So they're coming through the Chick-fil-A and they're like, hey, I need a spicy chicken. Hey, how much is that 350 full? How much wood can you put in the back of that truck?
That is not a normal man's fantasy.
Sir,
I just want to
right?
Exactly. I don't think it's unmanly.
It's manly. Not a normal man.
Right? Because the chick comes through, you're like, hey, baby, can you open your skirt a little bit? Whoa, Chris. That's why I never was hired by Chick-fil-A. So
that's why you never worked at Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. I had impure thoughts.
Pure
thoughts.
I'm going to tell Chick-fil-A, do not hire Chris.
Right. Please. Don't hire me. But always.
You need to go to confession now.
Well, that's it's coming up Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah, I go. Yeah, I get it all taken care of.
Do they just
do everything all week?
Block off a big chunk of time for you to come in and unload?
We can't. We don't have enough time for that. That's the therapy podcast that I'm on, talking about all the work I've had to do to get to where I am today. Even the fact that I just got to able to say that, and now we go back to firewood. Okay. All right, so he saw the 350. So you still had in the back of your mind, you're like, I can make this a business because this is the entrepreneur thing. This is the thing, right? Is it firewood? Yeah. Firewood. He does. He actually does.
Sling blade firewood.
Firewood. But he's got the entrepreneurship. That's the bent. That's the thing. We just got done talking with another guy who talked about, risk tolerance. I don't know if your risk tolerance is going to be high enough for you to start a biz, but you got to have that passion and you've got to keep looking and your optimism the whole time. You're like, I know I can make this work. I know I can make this work. I know I can. And everybody's like, dude,
if you say so,
crap.
I was way too scared to start it. Really? I was like, this is such a weird obsession, like firewood. But I just like, it was flipping stuck in the back of my head. And it just wouldn't go away. And so I went from Chick-fil-A, got a job at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. I could tell you many stories there, but we'd be there for hours.
Time out, Joe. Yep. Oh, that's why I was waiting for this.
That's all right. I had a little bit of a pit stop there myself. So,
Alan worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car for
14 years.
14 years. So I saw your profile and I shared that with him right before. I'm like, hey, Alan, we're not going to talk about that till we get to the podcast because one of the things we have talked about, we've been doing this podcast now for 2.5 years, guys. We're doing this. You guys been listening to us. Alan cut his teeth at Enterprise. And one of the things, we'll talk about it. It was a great experience. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you loved it because they only hire the best of the best and they train the shit out of you to make sure that you can be better. And if you're not good, goodbye.
Yeah, it's amazing customer service training. It's amazing sales training. It's amazing leadership training. I mean,
So
and
business boot camp.
absolutely.
It's
So you're 18 hours of cutting firewood, and we're like, man, it's it's a normal day at Enterprise.
it was a lot better than getting yelled at, cussed out
Yeah.
by that guy with the big red nose that was obviously drunk because I wouldn't rent him a car. And then having to make him happy because otherwise my area manager would chew me out.
Yeah, that's
What level did you get to?
regional vice president.
See, he was a big dog, dude. Hey, now Alan was Big Daddy. That's why we got him on the podcast.
I was. There's a key. That's the most
No.
important word in that sentence.
All right,
Was.
there's a reason Alan's on the podcast, everybody. If you haven't been doing this for the last 2.5 years with us, you probably haven't. Let me just go back it all up. The reason I begged Alan to come on this podcast and co-host with me is he is the most successful failed entrepreneur I've ever met in my life. People continually ask him to come back and talk. He comes back and talks to everybody, and of course, he failed. Right, all right, guys, we all failed. I mean,
most successful failed entrepreneur. Well, I'm the most successful person you've ever met that's not rich.
Well, we're gonna argue on that table.
I've had 3 people in the public recognize me in the last month, just out walking around, and they like walk up and they're like, "Are you Leroy Hite?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is weird. I started a firewood company."
Yeah.
You can't be yelling at me because I don't work on houses. You can yell at Chris. No, you can't yell at me. Did I? And I definitely did not look at your wife like Chris would have. So there's no way you know who I am.
That's right.
But when somebody recognizes him, he probably doesn't cringe like you might.
Well, we call it the Publix and they call it the Kroger thing. And if you're out in the grocery store, do you want people when people come up to you, go, "Hey, Chris," you're like, "Yeah, yeah, I had a great experience with your guys." I'm like, "Oh, thank God."
Yeah.
The cheeks unclench, everything comes back down
because you're waiting for the grout failed comment or something.
Oh yeah, and I'm reaching down for the corner of the cob, going, "I'm just gonna beat you." And if I knock you out, then you won't know this.
3 for $1 right now.
So yeah, there you go. So obviously very successful. And then back to Alan. The failed entrepreneur is still here and still rocking, and now is in another business completely rocking it. That's why
I have failed and succeeded in both the corporate and entrepreneurial world. So I've got this mile wide, inch deep thing going on.
Yeah. So, but you guys, I love that you guys share the enterprise story because we talked about this. So you learned a lot about
for hours.
Business boot camp. So you go to business boot camp, you go to enterprise, but you're still looking at guy comes in and says, "Hey, you got a dually?" No. You want a flatbed? Maybe. You know what? You want to put firewood on it?
That and people that are successful at enterprise, highly respect them for sure. It's a rough environment, but
it's a shark.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a shark world.
Yeah, it's shark world.
I was in consulting, but I tell you, man, iron sharpens iron. The sharks are sharking. You sharked. I mean, you're like. It probably raised your game because that's what happened when I went to consulting.
Absolutely.
It raises your game. You're like, all these rough edges I had coming out of engineering and being in manufacturing and being a machinist, polished the crap out.
And it taught me sales, absolutely taught me sales, really taught me how to look at a P&L.
Nice.
It might have taught you to break rules here and there and really think outside the box in some areas.
No, it's creativity. Is the word you're looking for.
Creativity and
problem solving, creative
problem solving. And we're definitely not allowed to repo cars, even though I did repo cars because otherwise I wouldn't get my commission check. But
you got to do what you got to do. That's the lesson there.
I just love it. You guys can't see this in the podcast. Al just gave him the knowing nod and wink, going, "You're right. We don't repo cars." But you want your commission check? You get that car back, bro.
Yeah,
I love it. So you learn. I mean, but you get to learn, and you get to learn somebody else's nickel there.
Exactly, right? And it's definitely like. If I had to do it all over again and that was the only way to learn it, I would do it again. And that is the only way to
you'll carry those lessons for the rest of your life. It shapes how you think about business and it makes business really simple in your mind.
Yes. And And I learned how to take the Camaro and park it around back and hide it because the branch manager wasn't allowed to rent that car
Because he wanted to drive it home that night.
unless it was the last one on the lot. So I'd make sure every single other one was rented out over the weekend. And then that's what we would take up into the mountains and go hiking. So it allowed me, to think outside the box.
Nice. All right. So
And
Enterprise.
this is the first time I've said this in the podcast. So
You know what? And you know what?
We're
The
good at that.
Good news is, we got one guy who he wouldn't come on the podcast until this one guy died, and so now all the stories are out there.
Yeah.
And Paul and I, in fact, I just talked to Paul the other month, 3 weeks ago. I talked to him, and he was like, "Brother, I've been on so many podcasts," and he goes, "I still go back and go, yours was one of the best." I'm like, "That's what I'm gonna hear." But he came on and started telling stories about the old days of home improvement sales, but the mafia had to die before he could tell the stories. So, all right, but you're off the hook. So let's keep going. Enterprise, and then you started.
So from there, got a respectable job at Georgia Pacific downtown Atlanta.
In the wood industry.
Yeah, actually. So there is a little
He has an obsession with wood.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Chris. Come on.
I do too. I mean, we're kindred spirits.
I'm gonna expect to see some orders come in soon.
All right.
So got a job at Georgia Pacific, and Firewood would not leave my mind. I grew up in humble means in unincorporated Ringgold, Georgia, one of 8 kids, basically poor. And I drove a 93 Geo Prism 5-speed with original red with
Prism in the house.
6,000.
I've actually ridden in a Prism.
Were you driving that car when you met your wife?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
So
she's an angel.
She is, honestly, she is an angel.
She could see through that.
Have you ever ridden in a Prism?
Oh yeah.
I swear to God, I think the thing they forgot to put in there were shocks.
Yeah.
I mean, those
among other things.
Oh my God. I mean, you drive those things. I mean, you walk out, you're like, what just happened? Either I just had the best massage of my life, or I barely have teeth left. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Every single, I mean, not a bump, not a crevice, not a pothole.
That's when you know a woman loves you and not your money.
Just wait till we get to the rest of the story.
I'm going to pick you up on my Geo Prism and we're going to go to Arby's.
All right, everybody. You can't take a break yet because you got to listen. Don't forget, go out there, man. Like us, follow us, check this out. Leroy's got to come back. We got to hear the rest of the story. So Geo Prism, and now you're rocking down in Georgia Pacific in downtown Atlanta.
Yeah, respectable job. So got a job there. It's funny. I applied and they asked me how much would I want to make if they offered me the position. And I said 50 would be phenomenal. And they said, great, we'll offer you 60, which doesn't happen too often. But
how euphoric were you at that? Oh my God.
Yeah. And it was a weird situation. Looking back on it, they told me they wanted me to come in and change the culture in this tiny little corner. It was, I don't know, 5 or 6 people in this little work area. And the next newest person had been there for 15 years. And they told me that I was making more than all of them. What I didn't realize when I went in was my immediate boss was also one of them. And also what I didn't know until after the fact is the person that wanted me bring me in, some executive, I don't know how high up he was, but he moved to a different division about a week after I started. So 2 months in,
we call that the grenade, bro.
Yeah.
In the that's the grenade in corporate America.
Yeah.
That's a grenade. Yeah. Hey, Leroy. Oh, good. Hey, look at you. Oh my God, you're full of optimism and spirit. I love you. You know what? Here's what I want. Everybody in there is a big pile of shit, and you're going to mold my pile of shit or get them out of here and make it work. And I know you can do it. Go. And a week later, go. Hey, I just got promoted over to be a marketing VP.
Good luck with that, Leroy.
Hello.
No.
But you're naive. But
I'm naive and young and optimistic.
You
First one into work
man.
every morning and last one to leave. And
And you're
And
making the big jack.
that's right.
Yeah.
And so 2 months in, that 93 Geo Prism with 266,000 miles on it,
Stuff a flatbed.
it dies.
Oh.
And
In Atlanta?
it was gonna, I don't even remember, but it was gonna cost $5,000 to fix it. And I sold it for scrap metal for 300.
Nice.
So, and my wife and I had joked for a while that when that car broke down, that I would buy a truck and start the firewood business on the side. So, Saturday, wife goes out of town, and I had never done this before. I woke up and I fasted and prayed the entire day. And by the end of it, I was like, okay, I think God's calling me to start this business. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it on the side. I got this nice,
Chris, have you ever fasted?
comfort.
Look at
Wait,
the look on Chris's face.
No, wait.
Have you ever fasted intentionally?
For how long? No. No, wait. I'm waiting for
Between midnight and 7 a.m. doesn't count.
Oh shit. Well, dude, that's just wrong. Wrong. No, wait, I'm waiting to hear this though, because you fasted, you prayed, and then you went out and bought that brand new ruby red F350 with a flatbed without her being there. Did you?
No,
You didn't buy that without her?
not even.
I was waiting for you to say, and so I left and I went and bought that truck when she was gone. And like, if she stayed with you, bro,
You have just wait,
But
That's
then
nothing.
he could say, I prayed and fasted.
That
Dude,
is nothing.
That's what
Dude,
came out of it.
Dude, I'm telling you,
a
if I go
red
to Costco
350.
and that number comes back at 750 when I was just going over there for toilet paper,
Yeah.
And she goes, hey, I just saw that. So now that she's retired, right? And I said, hey, we're gonna, everything goes to the business, but I have her on my business card now, so she can see all the purchases. So she's over there, cha-ching, 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 $20,000 later every month. But I go to Costco for the office, and she goes, "What's this Costco charge for $750?" I'm like, "Oh, really? That's the one you're worried about, girl? Really? After all these years, that's the one. All right." So
just wait.
It's a matter of perspective. It's all about perspective.
My wife might be as famous as me, actually, for being the ultimate entrepreneur.
I think we want her on after. Would you let her?
I think I would like to hear her story.
Well,
what was it about that?
We're not even going to ask after. We're going to get her email and find out why.
So that happens. I decide I'm going to start this business on the side. I have a nice.
You still have all the equipment, right? Somewhere?
Nothing.
You got
no. Dude, he's long gone. He's Enterprise. Now he's at Georgia.
I just figured he had like a splitter
Enterprise.
in the backyard.
I got nothing. I actually had that's not true. I had several boxes of matches with the logo from the previous company.
Okay.
A few of those are still in my garage.
Nice.
That'll go in the museum.
Hold those for the museum.
Yeah.
We're cutting edge started.
Exactly. So, talk to the wife when she gets home, and I'm like, I'm going to start this on the side. She's supportive for it. I go into work on Monday, and they fire me. And so I'm like,
dude, what?
Yeah.
They didn't even know this was what?
Nothing.
Nice.
And I'm like, oh,
apparently
this
and
is
obviously you're a faith-based guy, so I get it. So you went, this is a God thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
God wants me to do firewood because
and Alan, as the son of a minister, you would have to agree
100%.
And as a Catholic guy, I would go, that's a sign. And I would like, baby, so tell me what you did, because I'm telling you what I would have done by 10 o'clock. I'm at the dealer. I've got a 350 flatbed
red
in my name, ruby red.
Yeah.
So
since we brought up my wife, she actually found a F350 flatbed on Craigslist with a trailer. So
shut up.
Boom.
Wow. So she just got promoted.
Yep. And
dude, you can't leave. That's true love.
Oh, exactly.
Oh,
absolutely.
My God. Wow.
I didn't even actually tell the story of so we started dating when we were 17, and for my 18th birthday, she bought me an Xbox and a copy of Halo. So I married her.
Perfect woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
You're acting like that's a big deal to you, dude.
I understand.
We grew up with Pong. We didn't even have Pong. We grew up with mud. You know what? We grew up.
Bought you a Tonka truck. It's the equivalent.
Huh?
It's the equivalent of a Tonka truck.
God.
Yeah.
We grew up with. Hey, I just made the stick and I put a string through it, and I playing Cowboys and Indians. You can't say that word anymore. Well, that's what we did when we were kids. We're old, Alan. He says,
I got it.
All right. We don't even do that.
No, we don't.
I've never played a Halo in my life.
I tried to play Halo.
I tried once with my kids.
I'll try to go through the whole podcast without calling y'all boomers because that's very offensive. So I'll try not to do that.
I'm not offended.
He'll never be offended. But I'm a Gen Xer, so I get offended.
Oh, whatever. I played Halo once with my son, and it lasted 20 minutes, and every time I appeared, somebody shot me. I never even got a chance to learn how to use my whatever. I'm like,
they have 45 things on their handles.
Let me run around a little bit.
One stick, bro. I had one stick and a button, Atari, bro. That's all I had. And then we had Pong in the beginning. I mean, we were cutting edge. Not to use the word. Oh, I did.
Way to bring it back to Firewood.
All right, let's go
so you got the truck and trailer.
All right, so here we go. Monday, you're fired, and now you're like, screw this. I'm going.
Jeez, apparently this is happening. I got 0 plans in place.
He says, geez. That's not the word I would use. But okay.
Jeepers.
Jeepers.
We're getting closer. Keep going. Let's work down the alphabet a little bit. Let's work up to the real one. It's the F word. Yeah.
Flippin'. Oh,
jeez.
Oh, my goodness.
You know, I'm so flippin' glad you guys fired me. That's exactly what I would have said.
I am flipping out of here.
Yeah, that's what I said. So maxed out 7-8 credit cards, got a personal loan. That's what my financial advisor told me to do. No, just kidding. I really did max out the credit cards and get the personal loan. And that summer I tried to build another homemade kiln. That whole process didn't work out. There's a crazy story that, another God thing that I'll try to fast pace it. While I was out of the
Chris needs more bourbon. Hang on,
dude. I can't. Well, he's going God, man. I'm all in. All right, because
this is not holy water.
He went homemade. He went homemade kiln, and I'm like, dude,
this is horse soldier bourbon, not holy water.
Deep. And we're doing horse.
So how? I mean, I had no idea what had been going on. I hadn't been keeping up with the firewood industry. The New York Times, Fox News didn't keep up with the firewood industry, so I didn't really.
The fact that you even refer to it as an industry is still blowing my mind.
Well, this is
you know what I mean? Which is what's cool about it. No, he made an industry out of an industry that wasn't an industry.
Established that we're seasoned. This kid's gonna kill us. He is killing this. He's gonna kill this industry, bro.
Are you saying kiln in season? You like killing it?
Huh? You like how I did that? I did 3 in a row.
Out of all the puns you could do, that's like a 1 out of 10. So,
hey, you're on the board, baby. You got a 1.
Yeah. While I was at Barry, my entrepreneurial ember was lit.
Like that. On the largest campus in the world.
All right,
back to the story.
While I was gone, get this, how crazy it is. I thought I was going to buy firewood from a guy that had been selling it up in upstate Tennessee. Turned out he had shut down his business, and
that means went to prison.
Illegal aliens.
There's another joke there about going to prison in the firewood industry. I don't know if we'll get to that, but while I was gone, there had been an invasive species, the ash borer beetle, that had entered the United States, and the USDA and the Forestry Service teamed up and made all these regulations, and they made it where in order to move firewood greater than, I think it was 50 miles, you had to put it in a kiln for 3 hours and get the internal temperature to 300 to 130 degrees.
That was a blessing in disguise, wasn't it?
Exactly. And that made it so there was an industry that had kilns. And it just so happened that the only supplier in the entire Southeast that could do what I needed happened to be in Atlanta. So I found him by coincidence. He sold me firewood, agreed to keep it in the kiln for 48 hours, so much longer than the 3 hours required. And I would go pick it up in my trailer, and I had baskets on a pallet, and I would use the Toro Dingo, also known as the mini skid steer that had the forklift on the front of it. And so first season gets going, and it takes a few months really to get rolling. But once I get busy working those 18-hour days, driving around in Buckhead with a 20-foot gooseneck trailer on the back of a 12-foot bed. Got some stories there about going down one ways and having to back up into busy Atlanta streets where they didn't have stop signs.
Nobody gives a shit if you're doing that, and they're beeping. And I'm telling you what, you want to talk about God and faith? Yeah. All right,
they let you in. I want to know.
We got to, because we got to get to him. I mean, what's he doing?
No. Talk about the experience today as a customer. I call you up.
Yep.
So previously. I go to Kroger, I pay $9. Yeah, whatever.
You don't even care. You write that number because you're like, all right, great. I got that number. I get the food.
It's for just like 4 pieces of wood that are going to last 12 minutes and smoke out the house.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a different solution. All of a sudden I see one of your really cool yard signs.
Yep.
I call it. What happens?
Yep. So it depends on where you live. If you're in Atlanta, Chattanooga, Nashville, Greenville, Charlotte, or in between, you can order a box and it gets shipped to you, or you can order our patented rack. The rack is patented. It's airbrush, comes with a canvas cover, and we have a patent on it, and it can be moved with a hand truck. We put it wherever you want it. When you reorder, we take the empty one and replace it with another full one. So when I started the business, it took me 2 hours per delivery, and that was with the innovation. And now it's about 15 minutes once we show up, and it gets delivered with a nice, beautiful truck, delivery artisan in a polo, just like I'm dressed now with
delivery
khakis.
Artisan. Did you hear that?
Delivery artisan.
Again, he's disrupting an industry. This is the part you take lessons, everybody, right? Because if you're a mechanic, we're all supposed to be greasy. If you're a handyman, you're supposed to be full of paint and caulk and you got stuff all over you. But no, we put the professional image on it. That's why I'm wearing the Trusted Toolbox outfit as well. And that's how we do it.
The first 4 years, the number one joke I heard, and I heard it all the time, was, "Wow, you got all your teeth."
Solid.
And you're like, yeah, I've heard that one
all right,
before.
so your main metro markets are Atlanta, Charlotte,
Nashville,
Chattanooga,
in Greenville. And so that's our delivery artisan service. And then we ship to the rest of the country the boxes of firewood, cooking wood, pizza wood boxes. And then we also have the ultimate package, which is 5 of the racks that come, and it comes with a hand truck.
So the cooking wood is a different animal.
Yep.
So that's a different price point?
It's the same raw material. It's just how it's packaged. So we have stuff that's for like a Big Green Egg or Kamado Joe. And then we have stuff that's cut to pizza for pizza ovens. It's really just the size of what you're cooking in. And that determines the size of the wood. So for instance, if you're using a small Big Green Egg, you can't put a 16-inch log in it.
Right.
So we sell the chunks and then 8-inch splits.
So what you've just done is taken the firewood, and that's FIRWOD for sale. For $120 for a cord delivered, and I may or may not take out your Mercedes, and he may or may not show up with teeth, and you've turned this into a premium service,
and
it's working.
The way I like to put it, that summarizes it, minute and a half, is a fire is like a beautiful sunset. There is no one on earth that dislikes it. Take a 95-year-old man from Ethiopia, a 3-year-old girl from Georgia, they will sit in front of a fire and stare at it. It's universal, it's primal, it's unifying. After a stressful day, I can take a whiskey, sit in front of the fire, I think deep thoughts, my blood pressure goes down, and my wife can come out, and all of a sudden the mood changes. It's romantic. My daughters can come out and make s'mores and memories they'll have for a lifetime. Teenagers will put their phones down and talk to their parents around a fire.
You're making lifestyle memories.
Yes, and it can be at the center of a wedding party. And then I make incredible food with our cooking wood. It's not just a heat source, it's an ingredient. So whether it's steaks, pizza, or barbecue, it tastes amazing.
Shut up, Chris.
Alan.
Shut up, Chris. I'm listening. Keep going. Keep going, Leroy.
That, I love the experience. I'm really not offering I'm not offering a commodity. It's an experience. Experience is made up of three things. So I love that experience on one side. And before we got into the industry standard was wood would sit outside for 12 months, rot, literally have mushrooms growing out of it. And the business strategy, the branding, the customer service, and the overall customer experience match the product quality of rotting wood. So what I like to compare it to is bottled water. Well, except it would be like going into your backyard, getting a bucket and getting water out of a puddle that's muddy. And that's what the industry standard was when we started. Skip getting the water out of the well, skip tap water, skip Dasani water, skip Aquafina, and went to liquid death or whatever fancy water in a glass bottle you like. And that's what we did with Firewood. And but really it's all around the experience, which is made up of three things, which is branding, customer service, product quality. Product quality, I've broken down into, we want to be better, both aesthetically, our products are all beautiful, and functionally, they all function better. And not just, and when I mean better, I mean best in class. Nobody else in the world offers products to the level that we do.
All right. So you're talking about wood, dude. All right.
Yeah.
So how do you do this? So here in Atlanta, you're processing everything. How do you, what are we doing? And how big are you? I mean, let's just talk big revenue right now. What's the big top line number? If you want,
he may not want to answer that.
All right.
Millions.
He's got his
right.
He's got his Dr.
That's
Evil
all I wanted.
Finger.
That's the number I wanted, because we've all seen it. $120 firewood for sale. Get a cord.
Pretty sure we're the biggest in the world.
So he's 1
I might
million.
give you a little cheers on that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, let's go do it. Because I'm telling you, as you're talking, you talked about the experience and what you did, and you're revolutionizing a business.
Yep.
And you're offering a product. You're right. For 95% of the people out there,
yep.
Hey, this ain't for you, man. Do it.
Yep.
But look, he found the 5%, and I'm telling you guys, I happen to know some of those 5%ers, and right now they'll buy it right now. They'll buy it right now. You know who I'm talking about, my NASCAR buddies, my other entrepreneurs here in Atlanta who really love a fire, and the guy sitting here to the right of me who really likes to cook.
What neighborhood do you live in?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's making him sound like he's some sort of a beggar.
I am.
You know, hanging on to his rich.
I'm driving by Geo Prism, baby. Prism in the house. Let's go.
So what would you say is the most important of those three for your success? I mean, if you had the quality, but you didn't have the service, or you got the service, you didn't have the quality.
That depends. When you're sitting on a stool, which of the three legs is most important?
Oh, come on. Don't get like that with me.
Hey, Enterprise. You know what? That's Enterprise on Enterprise. Steel sharpens steel, baby.
Damn you, Leroy. Good answer.
All right, let me go back to this. So how the hell are you marketing this? So, all right, cash is king. You got the cash figured out.
Yep.
You're figuring out the operations. You'll scale it.
Yep.
Now, how the hell are you marketing this? And where are you doing? Because we have seen your signs like plop down, like 1-800 Junk. Like, hey, you want a college hunks? I've seen this sign.
It's a good looking sign.
It's a great looking sign.
It makes me want to burn something.
Best yard sign in town.
Yeah, it is. I think so. What can we?
And I'm jealous.
Toolbox?
Well, you know,
you don't have yard signs.
I do have yard signs, and but I don't do what he does, because I don't do guerrilla marketing, because I thought it would cheapen the brand, but he is selling way over me. So what else are you doing? Do you have sales guys out there?
No sales guys. We're D2C, e-commerce. Even in our local deliveries, you can call us, you can text us, you can email us to place an order, or you can place an order on the website. And
that's nationwide. That's 48 states right there.
48 states.
Let's go.
And with that, so people place an order, pay for it, and then we schedule a delivery, whether it's we ship via UPS, ship via freight, or our delivery artisans bring it to your home.
All right. So you have a So you actually have two businesses, right? You have the you have to source it, manufacture it, and you also have a delivery arm, but you also have an installation arm. The way I look at it, because
there's really like multiple businesses in one. It's kind of a opportunity would be the bright way of saying it, because it's an entire industry that was completely undisrupted. So the question is, should we focus on that fire butler service where we bring the fire pit, we bring the firewood, our fire butler burns the wood, makes a big, beautiful fire for your wedding party, and then everybody sees the logo. Should we focus on that? No. Should we focus on...
Hang on, wait, applause. Chris is applauding that one. 100%, bro. Go the other way. Go away from working in people's houses. Go away. As a guy who's a handyman and remodeler, go away. Thank you.
Or should we focus on the cooking wood that is very inexpensive to ship nationwide, and it's a very scalable business, but a large box of firewood that cost $149 lasts the average person 2 years. So the same year retention is really low.
Restaurants.
Or so we have, I won't mention names because I'm saying it like this, but we have celebrity chefs that use our stuff and their restaurants do not. So restaurants do not buy Yetis. They buy the styrofoam cooler. That's why the styrofoam coolers are still in business. So we always have restaurants that buy from us, some high-end, usually high-end restaurants around the country that like our specialized wood. But we're definitely vast majority B2C.
Is it all oak, or do you have different species?
We have premium oak. We have artisanal hickory. We have wild cherry, orchard apple, and we have redolent firewood. All those are firewoods.
Wait, hang on. Last one. What was that one?
Yeah,
redolent.
Redolent.
Is that a berry?
I don't know what that
I'm going
means.
back to berry.
You know what's great about having a firewood company is I do what I want, respect my authority. So I come up with names. That is a species that I came up with a branded name for.
I freaking love it. It's like mahi mahi all of a sudden. Mahi mahi. Wait, whoever came up with that name and nailed that one has made a mint. Mahi mahi. That's like fish they find in the middle of nowhere.
So for cooking wood, we have.
I literally just had my in-laws say mahi mahi. And we're having mahi mahi at the.
You should cook your mahi mahi over redolent wood.
I know. I want redolent.
Don't advise cooking over redolent because
really?
it smells like a Christmas tree. So it would taste like
Gin.
Diment or no, it would not taste like gin. It would taste like turpentine.
Subtle difference.
It's a firewood, not a cooking wood. For cooking wood, we have oak, hickory, cherry, pecan, apple, maple, and Savannah heat.
All right, Leroy, you completely become an expert in this world, and here we are. We're coming to the end of this, and we got to get going.
You don't want to know what Savannah heat is?
We're going to get there, but I do. So, you know, I do.
You didn't even. We haven't even got.
I saw her on stage.
You haven't even.
Stage,
you haven't even asked about the time that I went to my wife when she was 8 months pregnant, and I said, "Hey, babe, I know we have 2 little girls at home, and you're 8 months pregnant with our third. Let's sell our house and invest it in the business."
That might be episode 2.
I think we have to have him back, man.
I think so too.
Oh my God, that's a teaser. Hey, everybody, we can't do that on this one, guys. I know your attention spans are tight. We're doing this between drives. We're doing whatever we're doing. All right, so
not everybody's like you, Chris.
No.
Some of us really enjoy it. A good long story.
What? What? Oh, let's go back to it, guys. I know we're gonna have to have Leroy back because he's close to us, and this has been awesome. And just for the record, he's gonna come back and he's gonna bring us some wood. We're gonna
live remote.
We're gonna
in your
do a live
backyard.
remote in our backyard. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it up.
What's your credit card? I'll have a delivery made.
Well, actually,
Tomorrow.
by the time we're done, I got 3 credit cards I'm going to give you. Well, actually, 1 credit card and 3 delivery places because I've got 3 friends right now off the bat who love this stuff. So obviously, the wood, you figured out a way to offer a premium service in what is a commodity business.
Correct.
And this is, hey, I can clean your house. Hey, I can come be a handyman. Hey, No, I figured out a way to do a premium service, and it's working, and I'm in the millions. I'm not in the hundreds of thousands.
That's
Let's
right.
rock and roll. Let's do this thing. Put that up there. He's going to show it. We're going to put a picture up of his cauldron that he does. Leroy, it's called
that.
How Can They Find You Online? Let's go ahead and get it out there.
So first visit cuttingedgefirewood.com, but I am also on LinkedIn, fairly active under Leroy Hite.
All right, cuttingedgefirewood.com. You can go anywhere because, by the way, as we talked about, we not only are we worldwide, we are universal, we are enterprise-wide,
Intergalactic.
we are intergalactic. We go everywhere. Everybody out here, you got to check this firewood out. So what makes it different? I don't know, man. Try a sampler.
I'm
Go.
thinking about like gift box of firewood.
You're right.
It'd be so
Just order it
freaking
up.
cool.
So you know what? Order it up and see if it's different. Maybe it's not for you, right? Because not everybody can drive a Maserati. Do you want to?
Not everybody
Let's
wants,
go.
great food and lifetime experiences.
Yeah. So we got to rock and roll, man. Let's get out of here. Let's make this thing happen. Guys, Leroy Hite, Cutting Edge Firewood, gonna make it happen. You got to go. Huh? He is
a man.
He is. And the fact that his wife's still with him, that's pretty cool.
I know.
All right. Guys, keep going up that mountaintop. Make it happen. You can do this too. Find out a way. You're not a commodity. You are unique. Let's get out of here. Let's go.
Cheers, everybody.